Hey friends, Lisa Shaw with LisaShawCares.com, and this is a tip for leaders especially, but it really is something that we can all glean from, and that is managing expectations of people. Now, before you shake your head and say that's not even doable, I didn't say meeting expectations, I said managing expectations of people. As a leader, we are never, ever going to meet every expectation of people. There are people that you have the privilege to lead that will not agree with you, that will not like the direction that you're going in, that will question things, whether it's in ministry, at a church, on a job, in a company, in your business. There are just expectations that people will have about your time, the time that they want from you, expectations about the vision and the direction you're going. They're going to want it to be the way they want it to be. You're going to experience some difficulties when you're leading people because we're people. People have different opinions. They have different thought processes about the direction to go or how to get there. So if you're experiencing that, let me just let you off the hook and say you're not going to be able to meet people's expectations. You'll have people that are going to run with you, they're going to walk forward with you, they're going to support you, they're going to see the vision with you, they're going to receive love from you, direction from you. If you're like me, I pray for the people that I'm also serving as a leader in ministry, in business, in the church. I've always been that way. And so we want to be able to walk in the right direction with each other, have healthy communication, be patient, be understanding, be kind, be loving, be caring. But also in all of that, there'll still be complaints, there'll still be naysayers, and there'll still be people who want you to accommodate their expectations. You're not going to be able to meet everyone's expectations, but you can manage people's expectations to some degree. And I think sometimes as leaders, we forget that. Let me use just a very simple example of that. If you know that you're going to make a presentation to your team, to your group, to your department, and you can have forethought about some of the questions or anticipate some of the questions that they're going to have, right? That's managing expectations, because then you can incorporate what you're anticipating would be something on the mind of the individuals that you're serving, and you can have that as a part of your presentation. So then you're managing some expectations. I think when we manage expectations, not attempt to meet every expectation, but to manage some of the expectations of the people that you're serving as a leader, then it just makes the flow easier, makes things easier for you. It kind of calms waters, or it keeps waters from stirring up in a negative direction in the first place. And so I think sometimes leaders jump in and they just expect that people should just follow because you're doing the right thing, or because if you're in the Christian community, because God's leading you this way. Right? If you're in the business community as a Christian or a non-Christian, sometimes you can have the thought process that you're going in the right direction and you've delivered the information and this is how you want it to be received and followed, when the truth of the matter is everyone is different. And so while you can't meet their every expectation, you can manage their expectations. So let me give you an example from my private life. There are people who want me to be available to them whenever they text me or call me. It could be 9:30 at night. It could be 11 p.m. It's even been 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to meet that expectation. I can't. If it's an emergency, that's different, but that's not what I'm talking about. I cannot meet that expectation. I'm married and I'm also human. I need to rest, right? And I need to give time and attention to my husband, to my family. And so conversations that can happen during daytime hours, it might be something on that person's mind, and that's what happens. And they say, oh, let me text you now. Or I thought I would call you now. I know it's 10:30. I know it's 11:15 at night, but I needed to quickly tell you this. So I can't meet all those expectations unless it's an emergency. However, the way I manage people's expectations is I address that to the people that I serve, both in the church, through my own ministry, and through my business, my clients, my coaching clients, my consulting clients. I let everyone know this is when to reach me, how to reach me. If anything above and beyond that, then you would have to wait to hear back from me. So you have to manage expectations. I know in advance, in the roles that God allows me to walk in, that people are going to contact me sometimes at off hours. So I am available, but I am not available for 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1 o'clock in the morning just because something came to their mind and they don't want to write it down or wait until the daylight hours to talk to me. So I have to manage the expectation by consistently reminding them that this is my non-negotiable boundary, right? So when you express that and you teach it and you reiterate it and you make sure that sometimes you even have to reiterate it multiple times, but set your non-negotiables, set your boundaries, but also manage expectations by making things clear in advance, forethought, thinking in advance. If I do this, how's it going to impact this person? How's it going to impact my team, my group, my department that I lead? What are some of the questions that some of them may end up having? You know, what would be some of the concerns? And so that's managing expectations, because you are now mapping out some of what you need to upfront bring to that team, that group, that department, to kind of level off some of the concerns that they might have. And maybe it's not concerns, it's just questions that they might have about what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're all going to do it together as a team, as a group, as a department. And so part of healthy communication is managing expectations, not trying to meet every expectation. That's just not doable. And if that's what you're trying to do and you're stressing, let yourself off the hook. Set some boundaries, set some non-negotiables, but then also share that, teach it, deliver it to the people that you serve on your team, in your group, or in your department, whether that's business, ministry, church, for-profit, non-profit organization, whatever it is. Make sure that you're setting those boundaries and that you're also delivering information and then managing people's expectations to the degree that you can, but not trying to meet every expectation. Very, very different. If you have questions on that, or if you need coaching and consulting in that area, please reach out to me at lisashawcares.com. I come from a background of this, so I totally understand it. I've had my ups and downs in it. I know some of the things that work in this area, some of the things that don't work in this area, and it really is very important. And I know sometimes we think, that's not a big deal. You know, I know how to handle this, but the actuality is, from the perspective of the team, the department, or the group, you might think that you're managing expectations, not trying to meet expectations, but managing some of their expectations, when in fact they might not be telling you that you're not doing that, right? They might not be expressing that to you, or might not know how to express that to you. And so again, I want to be clear. You can't meet everyone's expectation, but you can manage some expectations by thinking through, having forethought on what you're about to implement or discuss or train on, whatever it is. What are some of the questions that may come up? What are some of the concerns that your members would have, or your coworkers would have, or whoever it is, your clients or your customers or the people that report to you? What are some of the questions or concerns that might come up? Think about that in advance. Bring that to the table. Bring those answers before they even become questions. That's managing people's expectations. My name is Lisa Shaw with LisaShawCares.com, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you today. God bless.